Hello and welcome back to another one of our amazing videos. We've enjoyed putting these out and we've enjoyed the feedback I've been getting on X. So thank you all for your support. Um, so this one's a bit difficult because it comes down to 6 years of my life being taken from me and my father. Um, we saw firsthand how injustice can really ruin a family. So, my dad and I got hurt around the same time, the same job, 6 years ago. And I went through the process of physical therapy and seeing doctors and a bunch of noise. Honestly, a bunch of noise. The doctors didn't help much. One did. One did his job. Physical therapy did not do their job. And you got the feeling like no one wanted you to get better. They just wanted to take as much money from the insurance company as possible. And so the insurance company was one of the worst things to deal with. I had a caseworker that did not handle my case with care, and she was later on replaced. And this other one did a better job, but not much compared to what she did. My dad and I had the same caseworker, and so she tried to nail me for insurance fraud, not realizing that it was my dad as well. So my dad cheated her out on the phone because how could you not read the documents carefully? Mine says junior. The other one did not say junior, so obviously that means a different person. So,
Plus your date of
birth is different too.
Date of injury is different.
So, yeah. I tore ligaments in my shoulders. My dad he
Has a bulge tear
in his lower back. So,
or herniated disc. They're same thing.
So, yeah. As you all know, I lost workman's comp 7 months into it. I sued the insurance company, lost that because of a corrupt doctor, and my lawyer did not want to fight. The doctor claimed that I got hurt playing sports, even though my medical records don't prove that. But regardless, nothing my lawyer can do about it, kind of thing. So, I left with $6,000 in my pocket from that, and that was all during COVID, so you couldn't actually be in the courtroom. It was just something that you later on heard about after they were discussing the meeting. My father's issue is sounding to be about the same. I called my, not caseworker, this is before I had a caseworker, I had a guy I was able to talk to about workman's comp, who worked at the insurance company, Sedgwick. And Tyler explained to me that they don't give you the exact number of your paycheck. They give you a ballpark of whatever they think you deserve, kind of thing. And that's me paraphrasing. It's not what he said, but he said ballpark for a fact. And so,
It's supposed to be 2/3 of your paycheck.
which is an exact number. It's not a ballpark. But the way these professionals do things is with a ballpark, just so you understand. So, workman's comp is a scam, and the insurance company is also a scam. They're part of it. And so my dad is not getting the money he's supposed to be getting.
They just cut him a check, and it was about a third of what he was getting just this past week. He gets paid every 2 weeks, and this is right before Christmas. And no letter, no explanation, and nothing's changed with his case.
Yeah.
He's trying to get surgery. Now we have to go through an IME to find out if he qualifies for surgery, which is stupid. So we're just going through the gamut. He's been suffering with this for so long. They've got him on medications, which I don't like. I want him off of them. I want this dealt with. He hasn't been at work for 6 months. He's just existing, and no end in sight on this whole entire thing.
So That is why I've got a question. If he hasn't been to work in 6 months, why is his check different from all the rest of them right now? That it makes no sense. We've also had issues.
Oh, and the doctor that he chose is not in the network of doctors that they use. He went and found a doctor that will go through the insurance company and not through the network that they have, because it's all, he understands how they're all connected. So he had to go through a lot of hoops, because the state of Oregon, you do not have to choose an in-network doctor. State of Oregon, you can choose a doctor that's not on the care plan, but that does take that insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, he's been getting better care.
They wanted to fight him at first.
Yeah.
They wanted him to see their doctors, and then he let them know, Oregon says I can pick my own doctor. So this is the problem you're dealing with doctors and the way the system is rigged. They want you on a plan that they can control. They want you working with people that they can control, who understand the system.
And who will probably end up putting him back to work, even though he's not ready to go back to work. So again, it's probably going to end up like you.
Yeah.
Where he's not going to get the help he needs. He's just going to be dropped.
So that's a major issue. This is a problem. He hurt his back, not because of something he did. So there's a difference here. Workman's comp cases, typically it's because they didn't follow safety procedures. Not in our cases. Our cases was my boss overworked me when I told him I couldn't do it. Okay, couldn't do the same kind of numbers because of my shoulder. He didn't care. My father, he picked up this big heavy tire. And they have big heavy tires inside these trailers. And so he's unloading the trailer. And he is going to pivot to put it over here to then roll it. And what happened was the floorboard was soft. So there was a soft spot in the floorboard, and that's where his foot was when he went to pivot, and that hurt his back. So it's because they're not checking the trailers for any damages before letting anybody in there. So they're violating their safety codes. And now he's got to live with this issue, and they don't care. So there is a huge problem with the way that these companies operate and how the doctors are either going to be accomplices to this or they do it without understanding the repercussions. My doctor was a good doctor. The problem was he had to send me to other doctors because he couldn't fix this problem. And those doctors were the issue. So, and they even would talk bad about my good doctor. So, of course, my dad and I both told my good doctor what they were saying about him. And his assistant was not happy because it is their job to refer people to them. And so they can look for different doctors to refer people to. So they don't give them the business. And that's what they're going to do when it comes to this doctor. But
in the meantime, you guys get to suffer and be, a statistic of people that are just getting ripped off in the system, and and it's hard for them to find work.
What you're told in a work environment is that workman's comp is for you, so it's okay if you get hurt. What we were told working at this establishment was it's a big company, they make a lot of money, so if you get hurt, don't worry about it, they'll take good care of you. That's not what happened.
No.
And I don't blame the guy that told us, because he's never been hurt. He was just being told what people tell him. And so I went into this knowing, cool, if I get hurt, I'm covered. Well, no, that's not the case at all. And the people that I was talking to at work about how I'm being treated, they're like, this is not what anybody's been told. So it really upset all of us. And it's horrible. You can't recover by working on a job like this because they don't understand work restrictions. They will violate them, and they get mad at you for bringing it up.
And I mean, they're not. This isn't the only cases. I've heard of other people. I've got a gal I work with. Her boyfriend is in the same position where, he may have to go to a different position just so he can work because workman's comp's messing his life up too. this isn't fair. It's not right. My husband has always been the one to take care of his family, provide for them. He feels inadequate. I'm not the one that's supposed to be the breadwinner. And even then, I'm having issues with being able to work. So it's like, where do we go? What do we do? There's not a lot of options for us being in this position. Again, there's holes in systems of our healthcare, but now there's also holes in the system of healthcare for workman's comp, where people can't actually get the help that they need.
These are topics no one's discussing. These are things that no one's talking about, and they're great talking points. But politicians don't care about us, so why would they talk about it? So
another place where corruption's taking hold.
It's rampant,
ruining people's lives, and nobody seems to care. You can't go to your congressman. You can't go to anyone.
The lawyers I was talking to assured me that I had an open shut case because when I was lied to throughout the entire experience, and they were pretty sure they broke laws too when it came to time registration. So they have a certain amount of time before they can do certain things. And because what they were pulling, they believed that if they didn't break any laws on that, it was just suspicious alone, and that needs to be investigated. So they were pretty sure that I was going to win this, and then I get somebody that I was told if this lawyer doesn't get my case, somebody better will get my case. And the person that was supposed to be better was not better than her, which was very odd to me because I've known men that take better care of other men than women do. Because in my experience with working with women entirely too, they don't care. Women are downright awful. And luckily, I've always worked with my mom, so she's always seen it firsthand how women are in the workforce in these areas. So having a female lawyer tell me that I can win this case, and she explains to me why, gave me hope. It gave me, the security that I'll be taken care of, that justice will be seen, and then I'd get stiffed. And now the thought of my dad potentially go through the same thing, that really upsets me. So
we've also got, my mother-in-law with a stroke, my father-in-law with Parkinson's. And so that's taking its toll on my husband because he's got to be over there all the time. And, even if he had a full-time job, taking care of them is a full-time job. So it's hard on him as well, going through life, just life.
He's got a lot on his plate and a lot of burdens on his shoulders right now, and there doesn't seem to be a sign that's going to let up anytime soon. So this is the first time my dad and I both feel weak or vulnerable or even inadequate in our lives because we've been such examples of strength for our family, and we were very proud of that fact. We knew that if we were doing something together, then it was going to get done correctly, but we had no idea that working together in a work environment like this, even my dad said, it's so much more different than when he was first working. And we've had conversations where we're now seeing how it was slowly declining in quality over time.
To where now they don't even care about their workers for Christmas.
Yeah.
That used to be a really big time of year where they would...
That and Thanksgiving.
...would get bonuses, and now that's gone. They don't want to give to the workers. They just steal for themselves. The money that should have gone to the workers now goes to the management, upper management.
We had a manager who would do a great thing for Christmas when we were working together before I lost my job. Dad and I would go to work around Christmas time, and we would have bonuses that we could get based off of hours. Mm-hmm. And so we would work those hours for those bonuses, and it was great.
But now
we like that.
It's anything over 40 hours a week, they give you something. And
which they keep cutting hours back.
So you'll never see 40 hours. Mm-hmm. So you'll never see a bonus. You'll never see anything. They used to also feed you.
Yeah.
And give you like Powerades or Gatorades, and always on the other shifts, not the one my husband was working. Every single time.
This one, that's new management. When I was working with my dad, our boss would
Yes.
pitch in, and he
Sure.
would cater. He'd give us food. He'd give us drinks. So on break, we had something,
To eat.
and it was great food. So
Now it's more about management and less about the worker, and people don't even show up. I mean, as soon as they get overtime or their PTO, no one shows up for work.
yeah,
Why would you? I mean, you don't give any incentives to people to want to work there.
so
It's awful. It's just awful.
we lost that good manager. He was good. He wasn't the best, but he was good. And I say that because he was PC. He was good though because his experience has been in restaurants. So his customer service skills were there. His people skills were there. He cared about his employees. But he transferred out because he didn't like the direction that the plant was going in.
And they
he-
opened another one, so
Yeah.
all the good people from this plant left and
Yeah.
went to the new one, and it's gone downhill so much since. And we've seen the revolving door of workers just over,
Yeah.
and they don't realize that eventually you're going to run out of workers.
And the issue is this plant that we're at right now, my dad is, it's closer to home. It's about 13-minute drive, maybe. Depends on traffic, but it's very close.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the one over in Portland, which it's a possibility that if he is able to transfer to Portland, then it could be better for him, but that's still a drive to get to work.
But he still has this injury, and
Yeah.
no end in sight for the end of it.
I don't think that transferring is an option for him. I don't think he wants to.
No.
So even though it could work out, it's just not something that he wants or we want, to be honest. So
And another thing is, this was supposed to be a temporary job.
yes, it was.
Not a job where he stayed, but they respected him. They treated him well. And he's like, I'm not going to get this kind of treatment anywhere else I go. So
Yeah.
he's kind of been lulling there, but now we're going through this endless workman's comp thing. And now they just cut his check. And it's just like, okay, are we forcing him to leave his position and find another job somewhere else? What are we doing? And without the surgery, I don't know that he's going to get the help that he needs. So we're just kind of, again, stuck and just trying to figure out what to do next. And it all falls on my shoulders to try and find something so we can actually live. And it's a bit difficult for me because I don't drive.
Mm-hmm.
You don't drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it difficult for you to run for governor. Right now, the DMV is so backed up. My teenager can't get his ID. You need a new ID.
Yep.
It's so frustrating. It's like everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and we don't have any answers. We don't have any way
Well,
out of it.
At the time, what you had was my dad, my brother and I, and his girlfriend all working at this place together. And we all worked together at this place for all the same reasons. We had to keep the home. Mortgage was going to be due soon, and we had to do something. So we all worked there. Reason being, we had my brother and his girlfriend living here for a while. And so the four of us decided to go in, get this job, making good money. You can make $500 for 2 weeks. And the pay would go up. You had a starter pay, and you could get raises within a few months. And they did really good with
Every
the raises.
6 months, I think you got a raise because dad's a pretty good pay right now.
So they did great with raises. They did great for us until we got hurt. Dad and I got hurt, and then it just fell apart. It was just really crummy how it all played out. And we've tried everything. I've tried getting different jobs. I did get different jobs, but I couldn't hold them. Now, they weren't companies I wanted to work for. And the one I did want to work for, I was making good money. The sabotage and betrayal was just
And that's
unreal.
rampant. They just don't care. If they don't like you, they'll get rid
It
of you.
doesn't matter what kind of job you do. It doesn't matter what kind of experience you have at that job. It doesn't matter if you're still learning or it takes you longer to learn a certain job because it's not your field. It's not. That job wasn't my field. I did good, though. I had good reviews. But it wasn't to what the manager wanted from me. And when I did do good, he got jealous. So there was no winning. There was no winning. So the workforce is very corrupt, very hard to deal with these days. And I've talked about it before, but that's why Gen Z is walking off their jobs. They don't need it. They got parents.
Yeah. So the issue is, I ran the gamut of Troutdale when we lived there,
Mm-hmm.
and now I've pretty much exhausted Gresham for jobs. And it's just like, okay, now what do I do? Hot Max to go to Beaverton, Hillsborough, Portland to get a job? I mean, it's going from walking distance to finding something that's further away that I can get to via Max because I don't drive. So it's very frustrating to be in this position. Again, airing our grievances out on YouTube helps. I don't know how many other people are suffering in this economy.
There's a lot. I'm sure a lot of them could relate to us.
Yeah.
That's why this was so important for me. That's why I did an X account. That's why I did a bunch of stuff, trying to get not just my story out there, but my family, and trying my best to come up with something that we could do. Because you guys know, YouTubers get paid bank. They can make a lot of money. I mean, streamers, gamers, they're swimming in money, you know? But the reason, and of course, the reason why they got big was not because they wanted to be famous. They just enjoyed doing what they were doing. And for us, it's kind of the same thing. We would love, I mean, we talked about this, but what we would love to do is travel around and speak. We would love to do that kind of work. That's what we were planning on doing as a ministry. But
like my husband and I have been to marriage conferences, spoken, or heard other people speak, and I'm like, honey, you and I can do that. We have so many things we can share. But my husband's like, I'm not getting up on a stage. That's why we're doing it, because he's just not interested. But, I said, if push comes to shove and God says, you're doing this, you're going to do it.
My dad's great at a lot of things. He's a great teacher. He's great at educating people on things. Because the way he talks to you, you really feel like he understands your level. But what it comes down to is he doesn't feel called.
Yeah.
To get up on stage or to talk about things.
I've joked about putting a filter on him because a lot of,
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, if you don't want to show your face, we can put a filter on you. You look like something else. But
animal. I think that's what he'd go for.
But it's just been difficult because we want to do more, be more, have more, but it seems like, boy, the enemy is just attacking, and we understand spiritual warfare. I've been listening to guys that will pray over you. Hey, you want your breakthrough? You want your next level? Let me pray for you and get that devil to leave you alone. I've been praying for breakthrough since March. I've been journaling my journey of positive thinking. I was doing breathing exercises. I was doing frequencies. I was trying to, and I lost weight in like 10 days. But something went wonky with it, and I decided this isn't from God. And I prayed to God, and I apologized, and I asked him for forgiveness. And this thing that was in my heart, I could feel it just swirling around, and then it just left me. And my husband was like, that wasn't you. That was something. I don't want to go with possession. Something was different, and it was, I don't know. it was embarrassing for one, because I always thought, if you're a believer, that the enemy can't attack you. But apparently if you open yourself up to it, yeah, he can. So, that's also part of the reason why I'm working part-time, was because I was led to believe, oh, your breakthrough's coming. Oh, you're going to have a whole new life. Oh, all this stuff's going to happen for you. And it didn't happen. And I got sucked into something I shouldn't have.
Because at that time, we didn't know that she was going through the menopause thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was a huge eye-opener when she just decided to not quit her job, but step down. And then we realized after a while of researching it, and it took us a long time to decide to, because we were just thinking that, oh, she just had an off day, made a rash decision. But no, we didn't know that it was the menopause clouding her judgment and things. And after we realized that, then it made more sense, because like we spoke before, hundreds of women have left the workforce in droves over menopause because they just can't function.
And over 1 billion of us are going to go through it this year. And something weird's happening too, because I've been hearing that women's cycles are off. So is mine. Mine's going completely bonkers because I went without one for so long, and then all of a sudden I've had every 2 weeks. What is going on? So I don't know if it's the food we're eating. I have no idea what's causing this. My husband and David both have issues with sleeping. Their sleep's off.
Mm-hmm.
People are talking about chest. I have chest congestion. So it feels like something's on my chest, just sitting here. It just weird things that just don't make any sense. And I saw that we had a solar flare come and hit us, and people were talking about that like two days ago. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that has to do with anything. But it was supposed to be some phenomenal thing, and nothing happened. Our skies look different though. I don't know if you guys notice, like there's an offness about, like, I'll be outside sometimes and the sun looks like it does when we had all the smoke from the fires.
Oh, okay.
Weird hazy coloring. Well, that just kind of happened tonight when we're watching the sunset.
Yeah.
Just this weird, funky, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're having weird things happen in the Matrix. I have no clue. But the atmosphere feels different. Things feel off. I know that people are also experiencing this. What was I calling it before when we were going through all that? It was something about
I can't think of it.
The frequency changes or something was going on, and that's what I thought was happening when I was first going through all that craziness. Was, oh, it's just the frequencies, they're changing them on us. We're supposed to be supposedly elevating to 5D. I looked it up. 5D, the new Earth, not the same thing. Don't get confused by this stuff if you guys are watching it. I don't agree with it. I agree with rapture and being with the Lord. There's a lot of people going, no one's going to come save you. Well, I don't know. I just know in my heart that this is God's plan for whatever reason. And that we're just sharing our experiences with what we're going through. I don't know. I have no answers. I have no answers for any of it. But it seems to me that the people that are suffering the most here on this earth are the citizens of every country that are not being recognized, other than being cash cows for the stupid immigrants that have come into every country out there.
Or a corrupt system.
That too. But again, I have to wonder if we were immigrants, if we would get better treatment. I'm sorry. I just feel like we're getting the shaft because we're U.S. citizens.
When I discussed this with other people online, they always suggested, have you thought about going to a different country for medical care?
I heard Mexico's great for dental.
And I'm like, no, I don't have the kind of money to travel like that. If I had that kind of money, I could afford a decent doctor.
Right. Exactly.
But, yeah, they suggested to go look at other countries for medical care. I'm like, I wonder if that's how it works. If you gotta be treated like a king, you gotta go to a different country and leave the one that you're from. Which I don't like that. I don't want to leave the one I'm from just so I get treated better. That's ridiculous. Um, but this is something that needs to be talked about because it's not discussed much. I mean, you hear workman's comp, but you don't hear anything about it really.
People keep their mouths shut about it. I think it's because it's embarrassing for a lot of people that they've been taken advantage of.
Could
And
be.
here's the other thing. I'm getting sick and tired of people saying, us Americans don't want to work. That's not true.
That's not it.
We've only been on assistance normally because I didn't work. I was homeschooling the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time we've ever really used it. Whenever I was working, we never were on assistance.
It's my parents worked a lot, and so my grandparents would watch us. That's why my grandparents helped raise us. Later on, my mom was able to stay home. My dad got a good enough job where she didn't have to work anymore, so she was at home with us and homeschooling and everything. And then things got really bad again. Dad lost his job shortly after we got this place, and soon we were all working to afford this place. It was just something we had to accept.
But life's just been very difficult, and I wish
it didn't need to be. It really did not need to be. This is why I don't like the workforce. It's because they don't care about your life. They don't care about how their actions affect your life. They only care about how your actions affect their lives. And so if you interfere with their lives, they want you just to leave the workforce. They don't want you out of it. They don't care if you're homeless at all. And they play God with you. Lawyers, doctors, judges, insurance companies, even employers. They all play God with your life.
Yeah.
So management, all of it. They don't care what happens to you. They don't. So my attitude is, let's find all these people with bad people skills and put them on the streets. They don't deserve to work. If they don't contribute to society in a helpful way, then what's the point? I even wouldn't mind putting them into private schools to teach them how to be good human beings at this point.
Well, and one thing that we used to do, we've only done it a couple of times, is a banquet. So my husband and I came up with an idea of a menu, and we went to a place in Corbett where a husband and wife owned a place where we could do a wonderful meal and honor our pastor, wife, and everyone that's involved in the ministry at the church.
The worship service, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so we had them dress up, which they normally never did. And we made lasagna and spaghetti, and we made mozzarella sticks and calamari. I mean, we just outdid ourselves and had the biggest blast ever. And that was my husband, my son, and my and me and their team there. And things like that, we just wish we could do. We could just make people happy for even one evening.
Yeah.
It made such a difference. That boosted the morale.
So they were in the kitchen cooking, and two of my friends and I were the servers.
We had the boys from the youth group serving and dressed up nice for serving. And nothing like including the youth group in something where you can honor your whole team of people that make every Sunday so special.
Mm-hmm.
And this is during October month, so it's like the clergy appreciation month. And we had never heard of it, but we were like, well, what can we do to make it special? And it was wonderful. We had little invitations made up. We had the little kids in the church delivering them to everybody because we wanted to remain anonymous on who was doing it.
We did.
And they made us, unfortunately, at the end of the dinner, come out and show who was responsible. And it was wonderful. We didn't want the accolades. No. We just wanted to show our appreciation.
One of the guys gave my dad $50 for a thank you for everything.
And that was so weird. This is God's blessing because we had
Mhm.
just used every bit of our food stamps, I think, for the month. And that was the exact amount that we needed to live for the rest of the month. God is good. And God is going to continue to bless us, even though this world hates us and has been horrible to us. I know God's going to bless us. And that's the attitude I got to keep having. Or, you won't make it in this life if you don't have God on your side and you're trusting in Him to bring the blessings that you know are coming. You just have to be vigilant.
Yep.
Our family in particular has had more rejection, more trials and tribulations than most. And, we're hoping someday the blessings will come. My mom,
Consistently.
my mom, who was a big contributor to making my life miserable, she told me once, she said, you've had a horrible first half of your life. I know you're going to be blessed the second half. And in lots of ways, I am. My family are my rock. My husband's my rock. My God's my rock. I'm more blessed than most people, and I'm more balanced than most people, which I consider a blessing. I don't consider monetary blessings necessarily necessary to be happy. You have to look for blessings where you have them. But I also know financially Satan has just come at us so hard to make sure we cannot be blessed financially. And I know you can pray that the demon of, financial ruin can, back off and leave you alone. But I also know in lots of times when it's like this, it makes us humble and it makes us appreciate God no matter what. And I trust that God has a plan for us. Like I said in the last video, there's some purpose for us. We just don't know what it is yet, but we know it's coming.
So I keep thinking a lot about the story of David. Like I said, I read Psalms and Proverbs a lot. And, he was a shepherd. And he took care of his flock for a long time. And he was content. He was just happy playing his harp and take care of the sheep. And then out of nowhere, he gets anointed to become king. Because Saul failed at being king. He got too consumed and prideful.
Yeah.
So they needed a new king. And it got me thinking a lot about heroes and how a hero story always starts with first there's darkness. First it looks like it's a part of time where it's hopeless, and then a hero rises. And it's normally an unlikely hero. So knowing that and how history works, I have no doubt in my mind that our family is going to be found. Our family is going to rise up. And governor to me feels right. I'm not a politician. I'll never speak politics. I'll learn the language I need to, but I won't speak it. My goal is to rise up because I have to protect my family. That's my main focus. I'm doing this so that my dad and I get the help we need. I'm doing this because I don't want our experiences to ever be somebody else's ever again. I'm doing this for the people of Oregon so that no one becomes a victim of corruption to the extent where it's doctors, lawyers, judges, insurance companies, or employers. Never again. Never again. It feels right to me because at this point in Oregon's history, it does look bleak and pointless. It does look a little hopeless. But I know I could bring the hope back. I know that I could set things right and set things straight. I know that my family is the right family for the job to help me do that. So, the followers I have right now are loyal. Not all of them, because some of them are just out there to follow. but the ones I talk to on a daily basis, the ones I'm always talking to, um, they believe in me. They want me to make a difference. They want to see me make a difference. And that's why they're helping with giving me their input. And some of them are even sharing the videos.
Which we appreciate. Thank you so much.
My biggest fan let me know how much of a difference I made in his life just by talking alone. Either it was a video or it's things I've been tweeting or things that he's enjoyed watching me do, like the debates I used to do. No one's challenged me in a while, so um, I'm very happy with the peacefulness of Twitter right now.
I think Twitter's full of a lot of information for people, and I think it's hopefully helping to wake people up.
I didn't blame a lot of these people. Some of them were just misguided. But the ones that picked the fight believing they could win, the approach was all wrong, and that's why I had so much fun destroying them with facts. But for the most part, a lot of them were just misguided. They had the right information and right intention, but they didn't go as far as they needed to with it, and they started believing mainstream media over what they were researching. So, with their help, I have no doubt that this will get out there, people will see it, and our family will get the recognition we deserve, but also we'll be in a position to help people just like us. So, our goal isn't to just get out there. I don't care about fame. I don't care about popularity. What I care about is making a difference that helps and making the right difference where it's not about good deeds or works. It's just about helping those in need.
So for us, like when I was doing my ministry, when I was first starting, I'm like, if I just help one person,
Yeah,
then I've done my job.
exactly.
For us, it's just getting the word out, telling people our story so that you can understand where we're coming from, maybe relate to it in some way, and go, man, that sounds like me. And, we can help each other either find direction or find some hope in this mess. Because if you look at the news, even independent journalists,
Yeah.
not all of it's great news, and a lot of us are frustrated because affordability is a big problem in this country, especially for us who have been used and abused by the system. I was just watching a story, and I'm going to share this one because this one just floored me. A kid went and watched his dad in a trial.
This one, yeah.
Right? He's going and not knowing his dad's innocent, and he confronted the judge, and the judge says, the only way you're going to get your dad out of jail is become a judge yourself. That's the law. Oh, well, he took that and went, okay, started learning the law. Started learning that the bail that was set for his dad, I don't know if they paid it or if it was just sitting there, listed, but he went onto a site, and I can't remember the name of the site, but it's something where you can see stock market. He was able to see that his dad, based on his dad's bail, was being used as a stock on the stock market by the judge, the clerk, everyone that's associated with that law office or that courtroom. And he's like, I can't believe my dad's being traded on the stock market. And so he did his research. He filled out paperwork. He went to that judge. He went to the clerk. He went to everybody associated there and said, I want you to fill this out. And gave it to them and freaked them out because no one's ever wanted to know the information of them trading someone on the stock market. How many other people are doing this? In our legal system, our justice system. So you may be innocent of all charges, but hey, we want to trade you on the stock market. What? I'm just appalled. I'm so angry that this should be everywhere. This story needs to go out everywhere. My husband shared it, so I don't really know where it's at. or he showed it to me. But this is appalling. This is, I mean, really? That's all? We're just fodder. All of us. We don't matter. We don't mean anything to anybody. If we don't rise up and join together to fight this horrible system that we're all a slave to, we're going to lose this country. We're going to lose any hope that we have in it. And that's where I think we've got to find strength to rise up against the corruption, the fraud, everything. And, you know, the more of us that share our stories, the more we can't be denied. It's going to have to start becoming something that we all start to band together and go, I mean, I don't know how many people have been messed over by these insurance companies, by the workman's comp issue, but man, where's the class action lawsuit for that? Where's the class action lawsuits against these doctors and these lawyers and the whole racket?
Yep.
Where is the investigations that should be being done? You know, justice needs to come from all directions. And this one needs to be hit because no one's talked about it, touched it. And everybody kind of just, I think they just admit defeat on it.
Well, they get discouraged because why wouldn't they? I mean, the law doesn't help them. The doctors don't help them. The insurance companies don't help them. What can they do? Nothing. They have no power. Even though it's supposed to be that the American people have all the power. Why don't we have it? Well, because they've been taking it from us little by little until now they don't allow us to have any of it.
And we're just defeated. And I refuse to be defeated. I've taught my kids fight back. My husband's taught the kids to fight back. And my husband and I are fighters. We're survivors. And, you know, right now he's battling his, you know, the issues with his parents, the issues with his health.
And the worst part is he feels totally alone in doing so.
So we kind of have to be the word that comes out for him on his behalf.
Because he's not going to talk about it himself, and I get why. But for us, it means more when you show your voice and you explain the whole situation, because it will get more people angry. And the thing I thought about too was, wouldn't it be something if somebody out there had all the means of helping somebody, just didn't have the right direction, didn't know what to do?
Well, wouldn't it be something?
And then they come across us.
Wouldn't it be something if AI were to go through all the workman's comp stuff? Like Doge.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be?
That could work. That could work. Before I left...
And just expose it all.
Before I left, I went to go see the office to explain how my work restrictions are being violated. And again, I was 21, not used to how corporations deal with people, right? The first lady I talked to at the door, she says, okay, let me go get somebody. Because she let me know that she's got stacks of insurance or workman's comp cases, stacks of them. So she doesn't know who I am. And so she gets me somebody else. And he comes out to me full of rage and anger and starts trying to tell me that they're doing all they can. He doesn't work with me. I'm night shift. This is day shift I'm talking to. And he asked me, are they accommodating you? Like, you know, I don't know why he felt the need to bark at me, but he did. And I said, no, not really. He goes, well, they're doing the best they can, kind of thing. And like, okay, well, I'll come back with a different doctor's note then. He goes, oh, if you do that, it's fraud. I'm like, oh, well, okay. So I go back to my doctor. And I explain things to him. He goes, okay. So why do you not want to go into work tonight? I said, well, I'm sick. I got a cold. I don't want to be there working with these kind of people. He goes, okay. Well, we'll test you for a cold. So they did. Came up positive as always, you know, because I was sick. Gave him a doctor's note. Sent it in. Didn't go in. I just sent it in to him. And that was that. But I had to pay for that out of pocket, which I did not mind doing. It was $207. No big deal. But just that way of handling somebody. How does this person have a job to talk to somebody like that? Well, they don't even know them. Nothing. It's just that he knows why you're there, and he's going to yell at you. I don't understand that. And I talked about this before with another guy that was working down there who helped me get the job. He covered the orientation part of it. And I let him know I can deal with conflict on the streets. I was raised that way. I wasn't raised understanding how to deal with a corporation bullying me. He goes, because there's lawyers and there's legal stuff. Yeah, I get it. I said, yeah. He goes, it's a little intimidating. I said, for some with no experience, yeah, a little bit. And he goes, so what's your questions? I said, well, here's what I got. Here's what I'm not happy. And he goes, and that's my fault. He blamed himself because he was in charge of putting me with people. And he says, I put you on the wrong team. They are responsible for your injuries. They're responsible for why you're going through this. And that's my fault.
He had horrible, horrible managers.
I had a bad trainer and a bad manager.
Yeah.
And no one I was working with really clicked with me for maybe 2 people, but they're around my age. They had no pull. It wasn't until I was on my second shift with my second team that they're all pulling for me. Almost everybody on that team went to that office and told them to pull me off of that shift. Put me on something else. To put them down here on this team. They work both shifts down there. So they refused to do it. Even that trainer on that second shift that I was working with, he's like, I don't get into company politics, but I'll stick my neck out for you. I don't do that thing, but I think because you can make it. And he did. And he came back going, I hate people. So
we've been there.
I totally understood. I thanked him for what he did.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not done. I'm going to have the other people with more pull come in there and try and get them to move you. And he did everything he could. They did everything they could. It didn't matter. They didn't listen. So what we had to do is simple now. They have given us no choice. Everybody who suffered from workman's comp has to band together.
Tell your story.
We have to get the stories out there, share everybody's story, and we have to include everybody. I don't care if you become a part-time YouTuber, just try and make ends meet, we will help you. We have to do something.
The story has to get out. There has to be investigations done across the country, because I know there's problems with Hartford. I know there's problems with Sedgwick. I know there's more companies. Tell your story. Get it out there.
And if you are from Oregon, vote for me. I may get in there. I'll make sure you get your money back.
Well, we're specifying in 2030. So we got some time to get the word out that you want to be governor in 2030. So help us to band together and get people involved. I don't care if it's lawyers. I don't care who it is. The word has to get out that people are suffering under workman's comp to the point that they can't work. They cannot survive. And there has to be something done. 21 years old. Life's over.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, this isn't a choice to live with his parents forever. He would like to move out and have his own life, but this has been debilitating and frustrating.
The job I had where I could see myself doing that, I was making $2,000, roughly $2,000 every 2 weeks. And I thought, this could be it for me. This could be a career for me. This could be right where I fit in. And that stupid jerk of a boss decided, no, I'm going to cut your career right here. 3 months in.
Yeah.
So,
and
I've
again,
lost all
I got
faith.
him the job. He couldn't work with me at my location. I had to put him in a different location, not knowing anything about it. If I had known, I wouldn't have had him do it.
And I had to go in. The commute was a train and a bus, because the other train to that location did not work at the time. And it took them like 4 or 5 months to get to work. So, working there for 3 months, and that being the case, it was an hour commute there and back. So, you can imagine how it felt to go to work every day. Now, granted though, I didn't have the whole I don't want to go to work today kind of thing. I get to go to work today. I love my job.
He loved his job and he loved going there. He didn't mind the commute. And in fact, lots of times you'd be on the bus with somebody else that you worked with. So that was cool.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating when you have people, because I got him in there. I had people that wouldn't fight for him, would not help him, would not.
I went to what will be considered district manager. This is more of a private company or family-owned company, so their world's a little bit different. The terminology is a little bit different. The guy that would basically be classified as a district manager, I told him everything. And even he agreed the boss that I had should not have this job. He's got too much of a high temper. He doesn't like this job. Why does he just quit? Well, he did eventually, but after I was already gone. So we both knew he was not fit for the job, but he wouldn't back me because he doesn't want confrontation. He doesn't like confrontation.
And that's the other thing is we keep running into people with leadership roles who can't handle confrontation.
Why are you there? Why?
But when you're interviewed, how are you with conflict? Well, it doesn't matter how I am. If you suck at it and you're my boss, how does that work? So again, we just kind of feel like we're set up for failure everywhere we go. I don't know how many other people feel like this because my other son who can't get a job because he's white, I want to wring people's necks because I cannot stand the fact that people who are not legal citizens of this country can get a job at microchip companies
or shipping companies who don't speak English.
Companies that require a lot of schooling. Yet these people with, oh, you're an illegal, you're in.
Yeah.
What? I'm so angry because these are jobs that actually could benefit the American people and actually give them a livelihood. And they're just being handed out to all the people that do not belong in this country. And again, we have to fit the bill for all these people. I'm so done. I can't even tell you.
A lot of companies, they want you to fit their mold. And if you don't, you're out. Which means you don't ask questions. You do what you're told. You don't explain to the boss why what they want you to do doesn't work or why it's stupid. Even though it goes against company policy or it goes against something that you are trained that they shouldn't be doing, it doesn't matter.
You call them out, now you're a target.
Ask questions, the moment that you are asking them, why are we doing things this way, you're out.
Do not question the authority. I kind of feel like churches are that way too. Do not question the pastor or else. Yeah, because God's that way, right?
It's just mind-blowing that they can run scams like this and get away with it. There's no investigations done, and I think it's because we're not making a bigger noise about it.
No, there's no accountability. I mean, look at our government. No accountability. Still haven't seen arrests. Still haven't seen anything. Just rumors. Just, hey, we're just going to tell you what's going on, but, not going to do anything about it. Okay, cool. Meanwhile, if we were to do any of these things, immediate jail. I don't even think we get a trial. I think we just be put in jail. But whatever. This is the world we live in.
So that's why I'm running for governor. So my family can succeed. And other families like us can also succeed. Because this is just, it's beyond scum at this point.
And I think if enough of us are upset over it and start actually yelling and screaming about it, something actually might get done. But we can't, our family can no longer just sit back and let everything just fall out of the sky because we're not those kinds of people.
We're also not the protesting type. No. We believe in polls. So our side needs to go to the polls in 2030 and vote for the governor they believe has their best interests at heart. And you'll notice the talking points that all these other politicians have are not our talking points. They're not my talking points. My talking points are things that you guys care about because I'm for you. Because I am one of you.
And that's just it.
I've had jobs.
How many of these politicians, Mom Dommy, that's his first job. You're totally, completely unrelatable. And we get it because you're a socialist. But we need people that can relate to the American people. That's the problem with the politicians, period. Because most of them, this has been their lifelong career. Yep. They have no idea how to get Nancy Pelosi. Could you see her doing anything else? No, she's absolutely, she doesn't know what she's doing. That's the problem I have is we don't have people, and I know I've been hearing it. If you want to make a difference, don't run for office because they won't let you make a difference. You'll be one of the corrupt people. That's why I say it maybe AI can do it, so it's not corruptible in that sense.
My issue is, though, if anything is corrupted, you as the American people have the right to remove them from office. Remember, they don't have all the power, they serve.
Well, the corruption falls behind the scenes, though, so you don't know. I mean, again, are we going to have, if you're going to have true transparency, then all your donors have to be available for people to see. We have to know where you're getting your money from.
I would recommend before you get involved with donors, you do research about that company, research about the donor itself, so you know what you're getting yourself into. We could also research our governors and pull up the definition of tyrannical and pull them up and show bit by bit what makes them tyrannical. Same with any other government official in our state. We need change. We need the right change, and we need somebody that can't be bought.
And I don't want, and 2026 is important, you guys. I mean, 2030 is important for you, but 2026, we can't let President Trump be a lame duck president. He has to have both the House and the Senate and continue what he's trying to work on. It looks like we're going to get some rhinos out of there. They're not going to rerun. They're going to resign, hopefully. So,
and let's not forget Kotek running again.
Yes, Governor Kotek on December 4th says she's running again. We need
to make sure she doesn't get in there.
Drazen's going to run against her, and I'm hoping that we as Oregonians will back Drazen and get rid of the corruption. No more mail-in voting. No more. We need voter ID. A lot of these governors are shaking right now because we're saying voter ID. Period. And no more voting machines. We go to the ballots and we write our candidates in that we want.
I know a lot of people don't want to get involved in politics. I get it. You want to live in your own private bubble and no one's hurting me. You know, I'm not hurting anybody. I understand that. I really do. Until one day they do hurt you. It's at your front doorstep or your place of business. And then what? It's too late.
Well, not just that. I mean, if you're not touched by the illegals and what they've done to your ability to get a job.
Yeah.
If you're not being profiled as a white man, especially if you're straight, come on. We need everybody on board.
And I know a lot of people don't vote. There's a lot of people that we have that don't vote. So imagine that.
Well, to be fair, they don't feel like their votes count.
Well, I get that.
Let's be fair.
If you were to count them, okay, and you get rid of these false,
dead people,
that kind of
illegals,
stuff, If you get rid of all of that, and you actually have legitimate people voting who don't vote before. I mean, we have people voting Republican, they never voted before, but they're done with Biden's garbage.
Well, we also have a state. This is one of the states that refuses to give the voter roll. That needs to come out. We need to have the voter rolls come out, and we need to have them scrubbed of the dead people.
Agreed.
People that shouldn't be, that have moved out of the state and don't have any voting rights to the state. We need all of it cleaned up. We need the SNAP benefits cleaned up. We need it all cleaned up. Let's be, well, we're in a state that doesn't want to be transparent, obviously, because then the corruption's out in the open. But we already know we're a corrupt government. We already know Oregon's needing to be cleaned up in so many ways. But again, we can't make change unless we decide to be part of that change. And so this is why we're doing this video, because I know there's corruption in this for sure, especially with the way both my son and my husband have been treated. Guaranteed 100%. And, you know, I don't care if this goes to Elon Musk. I don't care who sees it. I just want justice for those of us who cannot function because we don't have the ability to get the help that we need. I
remember the names. I remember the dates. I remember everything. I know who to go after. I know who to talk about. I know the names of the companies, names of the individuals responsible. I remember every corporation that I talked to. I know what year all this took place. I can go back and research it all. I know what position each person was at that point in time. I will launch an investigation. And if you want to see justice, do the same thing. Get your story out there. And then anybody that finds it, they can easily send it to the governor's website or whatever website decide to put up once I'm governor. And we will investigate it for you and make sure you get your money back.
I guarantee this is in all 50 states. 100%. So
I don't know how far back I could do for back pay, but I may have to. It would basically depend. I'd have to get on the phone with a lot of people and ask how much they want
it may
to do.
be down to lawyers. It
Yeah,
may
that's
be
what I was
down to,
thinking.
asking lawyers to pick up the cases and go through them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what I was thinking. Seeing if we could. I don't mind changing laws either. Make sure it's legally done. We can do that too. Where pain and suffering or whatever that is also comes into this because this is awful.
I just don't care if workman's comp just goes away.
Gets redone.
It can go away. I mean, what good is it if you can't even get the help that you need? It's no better than the insurance companies trying to,
You could do a better system. You could just scrap it in Oregon and do a better system.
Well, no, it's not just Oregon. A lot of I guarantee you, Sedgwick is not headquartered here.
Oh, that's a good point.
Hartford's headquartered in, I think, Maryland. So
That's a good point.
A lot of these, you are dealing with all 50 states, period.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so there's got to be more people out there that have their whole lives ripped apart by this.
They also don't understand laws because they don't live here.
Yeah.
They don't reside here. So they try and pass things from their state, or they get away from their state, and they can get away with that over here.
That's why they didn't know my husband could go see another doctor.
Yeah,
So again, I guarantee it's not in Oregon.
that's a good point.
So yeah, get your story out. If this is hitting home, if you know somebody that's going through this,
Yeah.
let them hear our story and maybe, we'll start getting comments on people going, yeah, I'm going through the same thing, or I've been through the same thing. And, maybe we can band together and try and get this out there. This is a problem, period. Plain and simple. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys have a really great week ahead. And, may God be with all of you. And if you are struggling, let us know.
You're not alone when it comes to this kind of stuff. It's been around for a long time. So don't think it's just your story. It's everybody's story that's been involved in this kind of stuff. And you should not be suffering alone with it. You should be reaching out to people that can actually help you or who care enough to at least talk and reach out with you as well. So
Even just to pray with you.
yeah, they can help. Well, we appreciate all the support. We appreciate doing videos like this for you guys. It's been a blast. We've really enjoyed coming together. And for the record, we don't always discuss things. We just say what we're going to be talking about, and we go where the video takes us.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why we're always over time, because we really want to make this shorter, but we end up just sharing
we
so
just
much.
like talking to each other and getting things out that we didn't,
Plan on.
right.
So yeah, and if any of this strikes you, or if, even a word of encouragement as we're going through this tough time.
And I think that's what makes a podcast really special, is when there's no real, and there's a structure to it, but there's no,
We don't rehearse this.
there's no cards or anything to read off of. It's just, you see where the video takes you,
And we have a lot of knowledge, but we don't know everything.
No.
So we would love, the feedback.
If you got a question or something for us to look up, we'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys have a good week, and hang in there. We're going to get through this.